So I kind of want to start this off strong, because if I put it on YouTube, people watch the first 10 seconds and then they're done. So, what do I think about the experimental card changes? Never before in gaming history has a developer ever gave the floor to the community to actually make changes to be done. This was the only time it's ever happened. And instead of coming prepared and coming with some serious changes, the people on the panel just spit in the faces of everyone at Blizzard. And they're like, yeah, no one did their research. No one gave a shit. They just proposed dumb things that basically fed their own bias. I don't ever see a company ever again trying this experiment across all of modern gaming. I don't expect anyone to ever, like any developers, to try to give the community a platform like this. They wasted it. They really did. They could have changed everything. They could have really fixed the game up, but they didn't. And essentially, what we're going to notice is that they're going to do a lot of things that are like, oh, we're doing this to be wacky and zany, ho ho ho, and then they're like, no, here we got to treat this balanced. So, people that said this was supposed to be for fun, that was a lie. This could have been for anything. They could have just made the same demands that Overwatch 2 has, right? They could have said, we want all damage heroes to have a passive that makes them run faster. They could have, but they didn't. And so it's essentially like a lot of this comes down to they think they're, I'll just say it, they think they're really intelligent on how they balance things, and that's why they balance some ridiculous stuff. They're like, oh, if we give them 5 more damage here and there, that'll make a big difference because we know what we're talking about. The truth is no. And the entire silver lining of this is that when people go, oh, we should rely on the pros to balance a game, no. This is why. And a general idea would be the pros are trying to balance for what they find fun or what they believe to be balanced. The question is that they don't know what they don't know. So, instead of being like, oh, there could be a whole new game, there could be more metas, there could be all this stuff, but they don't know that, but they don't want to balance the game for more options. They want it to balance what they believe is currently balanced, which is a finite thing. So, are you guys ready? Because this is supposed to be some fun and zany patch notes. Ana. 2 more ammo. So fucking zany, guys. Right? This is for fun, because 2 extra shots, that's the definition of fun. No, this is more along the lines of, hey, this is kind of cool. Ana can now nano boost herself. What would I have done? If we're going the zany route, I would have done something fucking zany. Like, Bio Grenade and Sleep Dart are now opposite. She now has Sleep Grenade and a Bionic Dart. That's what she does. She can sleep half the fucking team for like 3 seconds. Or 2 seconds. And then the Dart, whenever she hits someone with it, they get double healing for 15 fucking seconds. That's more zany, right? That's something like, oh, okay, now you're setting the method. We're looking a little bit goofy. But now if we're looking at balanced, well, Ana needs actually less ammo. You guys all know how I feel about supports. Like, supports should have high healing. They actually need it design-wise. But they need to have bigger moments of downtime. That was how you balance them. So you'd actually lower her ammo. And that's it. Ana's in a pretty good place. Now, the zaniest and the funnest of all changes, guys. Ash's Dynamite. Minus 10 damage. Doesn't get any more fun or zany than that. They could have done a lot with her. They could have done anything. They could have make her, only have 1 leg. They could have done it. They could have made her jump and wall climb and do some crazy stuff. So again, no zaniness, nothing about fun. This is just about the pros being like, we don't like Ashe. She's a little bit strong here. And that's what I really don't like about all these notes is that they wibble wobble between, oh, goofy. Oh no, this is very serious. We have to take it very seriously. Baptiste. Regen burst down from 75 to 65. Also, Immortality Field no longer protects teammates to a minimum of 20% health. It changes it to 1 health. Again, not very zany. This seems like something that people are just, they don't like Baptiste and they want to nerf him. Sure, that's cool, but don't say it's a fun patch and then do this. Maybe, and here's the one thing, and it's the hypocrisy of everyone that's kind of like, anyone who talks about balance changes, you will find this. They go, and I think it was on SVB's one of his talks that Samita was like, well, Immortality Field shuts down someone's play. Like, if I'm a Genji and I ult, he's shutting down my play, and I should be able to make plays. And I'm like, hey, idiot, that's Baptiste making a play. What you're saying is support should make plays, and you should be able to. No one wants that. No, so this is not about allowing people to make plays. This is about taking Baptiste's ability to make plays away, which is bad because support again. Support is meant to be a little bit less FPS centric, which makes it a little bit less fun. So they need these type of player impact moments. Bastion. Self-repair increases movement speed by 25% when in use. I actually like this one. I really like this one. This is a little bit funner. But they could have, done something crazier. But this seems like an actual reasonable change. Nothing much to say about that. Brig. Inspired healing to teammates removed when Brig is eliminated. This is so finite of a change. They just wanted to nerf her for some reason. So what people don't know is, if we think about this in MOBA terms, when Brig hits someone, it gives everyone around her a healing effect for 2 seconds. So now they're saying, hey, if we kill her, that 2 seconds goes away on those people. And it's like, okay, yeah, so maybe every now and then you're going to stop 2 seconds worth of healing. That's somewhat reasonable, but in most cases it's going to be like 1 second, or half a second. This seems like they knew Brig was balanced, and they just wanted to nerf her for the sake of nerfing her. Again, it's really, really biased. So, no big deal. Diva. Booster duration increased from 2 to 3 seconds. Sure. I mean, Diva's actually really strong right now. She may not be strong in the meta, but that doesn't mean you buff her just to get her in there. Essentially, she's strong because the meta has been set with things that she's not really good with. So it's better about nerfing those options than buffing her options. Doomfist, they said he was fine, no changes. I would disagree. And why would I say this? So he said the exact thing that really kind of pissed me off during the entire interview, or the entire thing. And we'll get to the crazy notes, when they buffed Tracer, what she said was, oh, well, if we just buff Tracer too much, we just buff her counters to deal with her. Well, what happens if you don't run her counters? Well, then Tracer's overpowered. That's the entire fucking problem with this game. Is that if you pick a hero, I have to change. Right? At what point? And then I change, which makes you change. At what point do either of us play the game we want to play? We don't. Unless you just try to force the situation and get good enough to where it's usable. Which is like the correct response, but that's the response no one likes. As for Doomfist not getting any changes, the guy needs changes. Doomfist, I don't want to say he needs nerfs, but essentially, Doomfist is too strong if you don't deal with appropriately with the correct picks. And that needs to change. It needs to be like anyone can fight against him, but he can fight against anyone. These are big changes that'll probably be done in Overwatch 2. Maybe. But again, guys, nothing here is about fun or zany. Right, there's nothing fun in this. Echo. Duplicate. When ultimate ends, Echo will be healed to half health instead of full. No one really remarks about the actual numbers, where Echo is dealing the same amount of damage DPS-wise as Junkrat against shields. And it's more accurate, and it's more reliable, and it's quicker, and But no, this is what we get. Why? Because maybe they like Echo. And now here we see the real biasness. Genji. Alternate fire spread reduced from 9 to 8 meters. Dragon Blade, when Genji gets a kill during his ultimate, the duration is increased by 1 second. They said this would help him not be as strong without an Ana. And I would agree. That's what a buff does. But I would also argue this makes him better with an Ana. If you want to make Genji's Dragon Blade stronger, make it not get damage boosted. That would fix the entire fucking thing. As for his alternate fire, it was funny that the pros, they're like, when I right click with Genji, it's too much of a spread. It doesn't feel good. And I'm like, the fuck, you want him to have a shotgun? Should Genji have like a left click that does like really far damage, and then a right click that's just a goddamn shotgun for like 168 damage? That's on headshots. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I don't know why they keep on wanting to make I mean, I know why. They just want Genji to be so strong you can't do anything against it. But it's a bit ridiculous to have a mobile hero this strong. Hanzo. They said his ultimate was crap. Maybe his ultimate's not meant for what they want it to be meant. Maybe it's meant for area denial and clearing people out of an area. That's why it's so large. But no, they're like, it's too useless, it doesn't hurt people. In fact, by increasing the movement speed by 20%, it actually does less air denial, because air denial, as we know it, is how long damage is done in an area. Remember I said how long? That means it's time duration. So the quicker it is, like Junkrat lost air denial when his grenades stopped bouncing as much. Why? Just purely from time, just the mechanics of it. It does less damage over time, therefore, it's less on air denial. The damage is increased by 20%, and the distance for a dragon forms from the arrow shot lowered from 10 to 5 meters. I guess they were upset that like they would shoot it past someone, and like it had a weakness, like being too close to a sniper. Oh, guys, are you here? Are you ready for it? Are you ready for the amazing Junkrat change? Concussive mine minimum damage increase from 30 to 35. Junkrat's fixed. They wanted it to be more, and everyone was like, "Oh no, that's way too strong for Junkrat. No. He's too good." There's like 3 Junkrats that play on ladder in top 500. Junkrat hasn't been played since he had concussive mine, no fall off on that back in like season 3 or 4. Again, they don't know what they're doing, but they know they don't like Junkrat, but they don't want to nerf him to make him worse, so they just give him something bullshit. Lucio. Again, and I just want to make a note again about the whole zany and wackiness and about being fun. If you asked me, Crow, make Junkrat just redonkulous fun. Just something stupid. I go, alright, Tire doesn't blow up anymore. It has 1,000 health. Also, it's 4 times as large. It's basically Bob, but you control him and you run people over. And when you hit them, they don't go into the air, they get shot to the sides. Also, his sticky grenade makes people sticky. Which means if you knock them back and they hit a wall, they get stuck to the wall. Right? Do something like fucking crazy like that. I'm like, look, you can throw traps and they stick to a wall. If you stick it on the ceiling and it hits someone in the head, it does double damage. But again, this is fun and zany, guys. 5 minimum damage. Lucio. Soundwave cooldown increased from 4 to 6 seconds. So that's his right click. His crossfade increased by 50% radius. Effectiveness is increased by 20% at close range, falling off to minus 50% at maximum range. So the closer you are to Lucio, the more of effect you get. That's cool. That's how sound works. I like it. It's not very fun or zany. McCree, no changes. Okay. Maximum ammo count from May increased from 120 to 140. I don't want to call people unintelligent or not understanding the game. But Fran, I know she does a lot for the game. In her infinite wisdom, she said, is that the ammo for May's primary or secondary attack? Fran, it's for both. That's how the hero works. So these are the experts on the panel who don't even know the numbers or how heroes work, and they're saying how things are supposed to be balanced. It's pretty stupid. Mercy. Holy shit, guys, she's fixed. Killing Blow resets Guardian Angel cooldown. Yes, that ability with a 2-second cooldown. If Mercy kills someone, it now instantly refreshes it. They could have fixed their damage boost. They could have done anything. But they didn't know what to do, so they just did something useless. Moira, no changes. Why? Because they didn't like her, they didn't fit her narrative of her biasness, but they didn't want to nerf her because she's actually not the strongest support. Orisa. Protective barrier, health increase from 600 to 700, cooldown increased from 10 to 11. These are the changes when I'm like, you guys are just doing something negative because you feel like the positive is too strong, so you're just reaching out for something. Sure, do it. I don't want to say this is fun and zany, but we'll see what happens, and we'll see what the change is coming up that's going to set the entire tone for the tournament. Pharah. New passive. Damage taken while airborne decreased by 5%, and damage taken while grounded increased by 10%. So, this one really upsets me. If anything, Pharah needs to be less specialized to be more useful. So, you would actually want her to take more damage in the air and less damage on the ground, which would be really dumb anyways. Just to say, oh, when Pharah's on the ground, she's just not useless. But they did the opposite in here. They're like, no, we're going to make her stronger in the air, weaker on the ground, because just cuz. I guess they felt like she did more damage, or she did too much damage in the air. But 5% is... who cares? Reaper, Shadow Step voice line removed. Sure, whatever. Again, they didn't know what to do. They decided to do something zany and fun. Reinhardt. Earth Shatter stuns closer targets up to 3 seconds. Maximum range targets stun for the normal 2.5 seconds. This is a reasonable change. This shouldn't be in the notes. But, sure. I mean, this is actually like something that they could do in the game and it wouldn't be bad. Roadhog, no changes. Sigma, no changes. Again, heroes that don't fit their narrative, they're not doing anything. Here comes the weird one. Helix Rockets can hold 2 charges. Damage reduced from 40 plus 80 explosive to 30 on impact plus 50 explosive. Self-damage scaled reduced from 50% to 40%. So basically they want to use soldiers' basically rocket jumps to get around a little bit more and for them to have a little bit... I don't know. Soldier, and I hate using this term, he has low burst damage in Overwatch, but that doesn't mean he can't kill you in less than a second. It just means he kills you slower than other heroes that are really good. So it actually makes him a little bit worse with burst damage, which, alright, let's all in on consistency and damage over time. Like, my brain is failing me, not consistent damage. Yeah, it is consistent damage. I was right. Yeah, so consistent damage. Okay, that's cool. I actually don't mind that. I don't mind that. And then, F's in chat for Fitzy. He said it when he saw it on there. Hack. Activation time increased from 0.65 to 1.15. Duration increased from 5 to 6 for hack. For those that don't remember, when Sombra's hack was 0.8 or 0.9 seconds, it almost never got off. And even the Blizzard dev said, Sombra just can't hack anyone at a 0.8 cast time, so we're lowering it to 0.65. They've basically doubled it. It's not doubled, but it's pretty damn close. And as Fitzy said, if this goes through, the only hack you're getting off is EMP. But don't worry, Fitzy. Your Translocator cooldown triggered when user destroyed is reduced from 6 to 5 seconds. Right? Look, 1 second here. You gain 1 second here. And that offsets the 0.5 second there, right? In fact, you're getting a 4 times return on your investment. Hell, we should make this a 5 second thing and then just reduce this to 0 seconds, right? Because that's how balancing works. No, in all seriousness, Sombra she's fucked. She's fucked. That's all there is to it. Now you're like, well, why would they want to do that? It's coming up. So Sim, and it was so funny. The pros are like, they started talking about sim changes, and they're like, let's make it so when you walk through Sim's shield, her ultimate, you get slowed. And everyone's like, oh, that's crazy. This is about fun, and that wouldn't be fun. And so we're going to just increase her turret speed. Again, they didn't know what to do, so they just did something stupid and small, which makes it seem intelligent. Or, oh, no. 5 meters a second will make a big difference. It won't make any fucking difference. And then we get to the Torb ban. He can hold 2 turrets. Damage of health to turrets are reduced by 40%. You know what I would do for Torb? You want to make him zany and wacky? Give him 200 health, 100 armor. He loses Overload. What replaces Overload? He gets a grapple that can grapple to his sentry gun. Also, his sentry gun can be thrown 4 times as far and can attach itself to walls and ceilings. This way, you can throw a turret on the wall, grapple to it. Now the grapple only targets the turret, and you can do crazy-ass mobility things. This is actually how the engineer in Weapons Factory Arena was designed in Quake 3. And Weapons Factory Arena, for those that don't know, is because Team Fortress was copyrighted, it was the Quake version of Team Fortress of the 9 class mod. That engineer in that game was so fucking sweet. It was very nice. But now he gets 2 turrets. And now we get to the craziest and zaniest of all changes, boys. You want to know what the meta is going to be for this experimental patch? Because everything we've written about so far and everything we talked about doesn't fucking matter. Tracer's health is increased to 175. And if you watch the YouTube thing, you know what they said? They go, Jeff, do whatever you want to the hero. Just please make it so she doesn't die so quickly. Make her health 175. We'll take whatever you give to us. And in Jeff's ultimate wisdom, he says, 2 seconds on recall. I mean, by this logic, if I was a Tracer player, what I would do is I would make recall 30 seconds, and I would make Tracer have 500 health. Because that would be balanced. And now we're like, oh, Sombra's unusable. Torb, probably not very good. So either we're going to see like Torb all the time just to deal with the Tracer or something else. This is just as biased as it went. And this is why I said they pissed it all away. All these changes before this change don't mean shit. People came in not knowing abilities, the cooldown, or anything like that. They just came in like, I want this hero to be good. Fuck everyone else. This is why you don't let pros balance. Widowmaker. Guys, damage increased from 75 to 120. Duration changed from 5 to 6 seconds. Trigger radius increased from 3 to 4 meters. Venomine is now better than Concussive Blast. While she can't detonate it midair, if she does throw it in the back line and it does get off and it hits 3 people, it will do more damage than Concussive Blast. I would have liked to see some nerfs to her or something else, but no. And here's another example of I know they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Winston, armor increased by 15 and health reduced by 15. Total pool is the same, so he has 15 more armor. That's like 2 shots. That's not a big deal. What would I change with Winston? I'd make his shield 25% larger. People are like, wouldn't that be a nerf? And I'd say, yes, it would be. Basically, when you land with Winston, you would essentially either have to fully commit on the hero in the bubble or back the shit out. Which I like. It means Winston can't just immediately jump on you and he has the advantage. I don't want Winston to have the advantage because the Tesla cannon, really easy to use. Little to no execution on all that. Not saying he can't have good or bad decision making, but I don't like it that Winston, if he throws a shield in the middle, it hits you, and then he just lands his abilities, you're instantly dead. There should always be counterplay for everyone. Now, when they took the game seriously, Wrecking Ball, size reduced by 15%. Ammo reduced from 80 to 70. Grappling Claw cooldown increased from 5 to 7. Also, Adaptive Shield no longer prevents enemies from generating ultimate charge. The real fix to Wrecking Ball, what is it? Pile Drive needs to do half as much damage and keep the same area, or reduce the area in half and keep the same damage. Right now, Slam is just pretty ridiculous. But it'll be interesting to see how this goes. 15% size reduction. It doesn't really matter against hit scan. It doesn't matter against projectile, though. So I don't actually see this doing that much. But this would make Wrecking Ball not as strong. By far. I mean, it's buff, nerf, nerf, nerf. This buff is specifically for projectiles. Slam does what, 100? Yeah, Slam does 100 at the center, and it goes out to, I think, like 30 minimum damage, but it's a 7 or 10 meter radius. Also, it knocks you up and pulls you towards it. Which would, honestly, if they set me down and said, Crow, make a change, what is one of the biggest changes you could make? And I'd say, no ability in the game removes control. So whenever you get knocked up by a Doomfist or a Pile Drive, it acts like Junkrat's Concussive Mine, where you have full air control. Allow players to keep playing, don't take control away, and if it screws up the Doomfist or the Hammond or whatnot, let it be on the attacker's side to get better, not the defenders. Attacking already, like, I'll preach this a lot, and because this is true in martial arts and fighting, offense, and this is true for every game, offense is easier than defense. Inherently. Offense will always be easier. So you actually want defense to have an easier time of executing in a game with the mechanics. This forces the offender to get better first, and then the defender has to get better after that. And that's a healthier way to do things, rather than favoring just attacking, and then having defense come in. Because what happens is, a lot of players, they get really used to defending not being that good, and you can't defend against everything, so they just attack, and eventually they win. But in a good game, defense can be solid and perfect, and it makes the game extremely great. Now, a lot of people would say it makes the game extremely boring. But I would say it makes the game better as an esport. 2 examples: Brood War, Dota. Lowering the time to kill, or I should say increasing the time to kill, making it harder to kill someone quickly, and allowing the defense a proper chance to defend against heavy offense will make a game so much better competitively, because then you have back and forth, instead of just bleh. Is that why defenders usually have a map advantage? Yes. That is, well, no, I wouldn't say that is the reason why defenders have the map advantage. Defenders, we're talking about mostly 2CP or any type of capture point. Defenders should have a spawn disadvantage. Attackers have a spawn advantage. But then defenders have the map design advantage. And the whole reason because of that is to be fun. If the attacking team had the advantage and they just attacked and they killed the team and then they went on, there'd be no point. Essentially, it would snowball and it wouldn't be much fun. But allowing the defenders to have, a bit of an advantage, forcing the enemy team to, do things, that it makes it a little bit more asymmetrical and less symmetrical. But yeah, it just allows for more fun. But do I think the Blizzard devs know that offense is always easier than defense? No. It would take an astute person to make that discovery on their own. And I'm not saying like I'm an astute person because I made that discovery. I was actually told that. And then I was shown that by getting my ass kicked through like 17 or 18 years of martial arts. So it's a lesson I've learned the hard way. The funny thing is, if you keep defending, then you lose the chance to attack. Also, attacking, you always risk something. There's give and take with all of that. Anyways, back to the fun and zany changes. Projectile barrier range increased from 30 to 34 meters. Sure, whatever. Also, Zenyatta is now faster. The dev said this wasn't going live. Yes, so for anyone that's talking about this going live, it is not going live. They said, they're like, look, if there's a really good change, then we'll implement it to live. But mostly we're not going to put this to live. This is specifically for a tournament that they're having just for funsies. But still, if you would have had funsies patch notes, then you wouldn't have had this, and you would have had a bunch of wacky and zany shit, and not just people attempting to be sophisticated with their balance changes. Again, and I will reiterate my first point. This was a one-in-a-lifetime chance in all of gaming for a developer to allow the community to make some changes. And that panel that was so-called elected or picked didn't know that May had the same fucking ammo count for her primary and secondary. This chance was pissed away. It offends me so hard because I know people will now look at this, developers, and they'll go, oh, look how the community balances. They can't do shit. Fuck them. Safe to assume that the buff characters in this list are associated with specific players in this tournament. They had 2 Tracer players on the panel. This wasn't about balance, guys. This was about pushing their biasness and whatever they wanted to be meta. Now, if you think Rush should be meta, cool. If you think Dive should be meta, dope. That's great shit. But if you're removing the chance for other things to develop and get good at, then you're basically saying there needs to be no innovation in Overwatch, and what you know of Overwatch right now is the truth. Which, that should never be the case. You should never be like, I have figured out Overwatch, and the game stops. And now, sometimes that actually does happen, and the developers have to change some things greatly. But yeah, so there's going to be a change. Here's the tournament, whoop-de-doo. Remember, this is for funsies, guys. But all heroes, basically, it's going to be Genji Tracer. And then people are going to have to swap for something again that's good against it. And then I think that's where the swapping will stop. Or people will figure out how to play Genji Tracer into the counters, and then they won't give a shit. That's what I expect to happen. So let me get this straight. This experimental thing was intended for a special tournament of supposes to have super crazy things. Yeah. We've gathered an experience and opinionated. First of all, none of these people are experienced. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They've played Overwatch, but do I expect them to know anything about game design or actually look at Overwatch in a sophisticated manner? No. They may play, like, they may be professionals, they may understand tactics and strategy, but they do not know how the game is designed. They understand the effects of the design, they do not know why it was designed. So yeah. But this wasn't just a fun get-together. They assembled the panels also figure out what hero tweaks for allow us to play and enjoy. Yeah, no, really, like, this is going to make us allow. We're going to enjoy the game so much with these amazing changes. Oh yeah, this is going to be great. Seeing Genji every game, great. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm quite upset that they just pissed away the chance. More than anything, that's what I'm most upset about. But I am super happy that people now know don't let pros balance the game because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I know what everyone's thinking. I know what you're thinking. Crow, you're so fucking smart. What are your changes? Well, I already said what I would do if I'd be doing some wacky shit. And trust me, the wackiness wouldn't stop there. I don't know, I'd do some crazy shit. Actually, you want to know one of the wacky changes I'd make? Does everyone know, I believe it's called the Raptor? It's a jet. And the crazy thing about the Raptor, it's a jet, but it can make its thrusters go down and it can take off vertically and then take off like that. I want Pharah to lose concussive blast, but she can point which way her hover jets go. Also, she hovers too slowly, so I would increase her speed by 50 times. Now everyone's like, but then she would press the button and would be across the map. Yes, that's the fucking joke. That's why it'd be hilarious. Alright? You come out of spawn, Pharah goes like this, boom, across the fucking map. She's behind you. Yeah, to space. That'd be great. Straight to the moon. Like stuff like that. I think it would be hilarious to do things like that, but they... Shadow Step voice line removed, guys. That's what we got instead. Now, what would my serious changes be? One, I'd be like, hey, remember when you said there was role passives? Do it. And they'd be like, that's where Overwatch should go. Shut the fuck up, do it. You said you'd do whatever is in this patch, get it done. Secondly, fall off damage. Minimum no longer 30%. Everyone goes down to 5% minimum damage. Also, the ranges for everyone starts at whatever you want, goes 15 meters, and that's where it ends. No longer than that. Maybe even 10 meters. So if you want McCree to be good at 35 meters, then you better fucking sure as hell say fall off damage starts at 30, ends at 40. I would lower headshot damage 1.5, 1.75 for everyone. Rebrand snipers into scouts. Make them utility based on information gathering. There's reworks. I have that written out. It's on my blog if you really felt like seeing that. Basically, you just get rid of some of their lethality, and you would introduce this utility called, information gathering. People were like, but Sombra does it already, and I'm like, there's a big difference between seeing someone through a wall and someone telling you there's someone on the other side. I would give DPS heroes 50% of their health pool as shields. I basically do what I've said I've been doing for a while. Make supports have more downtime, but still heal as much. Still allow them great playmaking abilities. I mean, just the first couple ones would change the game so greatly that, yeah. Should have made McCree dual wield. They should have made McCree dual wield, but give him Reaper's reload animation. In fact, you know what I'd fucking do? Make Reaper throw his guns at people. They do damage now. In fact, you can throw it with shots, and when you throw it, it hits the ground and starts shooting random directions. You could literally shoot once, throw your guns, and they'd both shoot. One would shoot 4 times, and one would shoot 3 times, spinning around. Alright? Do something fucking stupid like that. Wouldn't 50% shields on DPS make EMP even more broken? Make EMP not hurt shields. Is this Borderlands? That's right, they did it in Borderlands. I forgot about that. Yeah. I mean, I know it's a dick move to say, but they could have been like, haha, our first change, Jeff. What we want is, Overwatch 2. Get it done in a week, bitch! Like, they could have done that, right? They could have done anything like that. And it would have been hilarious. That's really all I got. That's all the bitching I got right now. All these changes, I mean, there's some good ones. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say any of them are... I like the Ashe nerf. Don't do Ana. Put this live. I'm fine with the immortality feeling down to 1 health. Cool. Regen burst being weaker, no. Ship the Bastion one. Don't worry about the Brig one. Don't do the Diva one. Or the Doomfist one. He doesn't, no changes. Echo! Man, fuck that hero. You need to nerf her in like 3 other ways. Genji, don't touch him. Hanzo, don't touch him. Junkrat, make minimum 60 like Jake asked for. Like, that actually would make him better. Or fix the bugs with Trap. Or make Tire climb like Genji and Hanzo where it doesn't get stuck in every little thing. Lucio changes I actually like. I do think his Soundwave is a little bit too spammable. And I do like how Crossfade works like that. McCree, no changes. May, just might as well no changes. Mercy, just don't do that. Moira, no. Orisa, no. Pharah, no, that's stupid. Reaper, no. The actual fix to Pharah, give her a 3rd ability. Make her have 100 health, 100 armor. Give her an ability where if she takes that gives her 20 armor a second up to 100, like basically refills. It heals her. So it heals up to 100 armor of her health pool. But if she takes damage, it stops. Put it on like a 10-second cooldown. Right. Allow Pharah to go up in the air, shoot a couple times, get picked, and then she can heal the armor back on her health pool, and then go back up. Also, 100 armor, like 100 health, 100 armor, really wouldn't make her that much stronger against hit scan. For her to be super overpowered if she was paired with a Mercy. Reinhardt, ship that change. I like it. People do. I mean, the only reason I say I like this change is because people bitch too much about it. If this shuts him up, great. Roadhog, Sigma, no changes. Soldier, sure, but understand you're fully investing in him being it's not even that much mobile. He has some mobility, very little increased mobility, but he's going all in on consistent damage and away from burst damage. So, hey, if you want to do that, cool. I don't mind that. That's if the hero is designed to be consistent, do it. But understand when the hero can't burst things down, don't come bitching to me. Sombra was massacred. Useless. Torb, I already told you the Torb changes I want. Tracer, overpowered. Widowmaker, just nerf the fuck out of her. Winston, don't do this. Wrecking Ball? You could do this. You can do this. I think this will be a more balanced Wrecking Ball than he is currently. Zarya, you don't need to do this. Zen, you don't need to do that. This stuff is like, we don't know what to do with the hero, so we're just going to do something small. But who the fuck cares? Sean Pipe says, Junkrat needs 10 additional damage to his mine or his primary fire, so he hits 250 damage. What Junkrat needs, and if you just want to do this one buff and nothing else. The whole issue with Junkrat is he's not consistent. So you should reward consistency. Because right now, if you are consistent with Junkrat, you do a bit of damage, but not as much as any hits, basically any other DPS in the game. Every hit from Junkrat should do 25% more than the last one, and that debuff lasts 5 seconds. Or you can make it last 3 seconds. Make it apply to shields. So his first shot on a shield is 120. His second one does what? 150. His third shot is, 25% of 150. Just keep adding that. And of course, it'll top out at, 3 seconds. So if he hits something 5 times in a row, it'd be 125% extra damage in that final shot. Which people will be like, that's overpowered. I'm like, look, if I fucking hit you 5 times in a row with Junkrat, you deserve to die. That's what I would like. But it'd be really nice because when Junkrat does splash damage to you, which does nothing to the enemy, you would actually do more damage against them the next time you hit them. So all of a sudden, splash damage for like 5 damage actually has like a negative consequence to it for people running into it. That's what I would like for Junkrat. For him to actually be considered viable as compared to Widowmaker or Tracer or Genji or anything like that. Because right now he's not. But yeah, that's it. That's my bitching session, guys. They could have took this seriously. They didn't, but then they went back and forth on if they took it seriously or not. You know what I mean? Like, we're being goofy. Oh no, now we're being serious. Now we're being goofy. Now we're being serious. And it just came back to like, okay, you're being goofy with everyone but the heroes you like, and then you're serious against the heroes. Well, you're serious with the heroes you liked or you didn't like. Everyone else just got stupid stuff. One of the funniest parts is when Fran went and trapped not to work on Sigma and Zen. Yeah, like... Yeah, nerf Junkrat. Why not? I mean, I get that it doesn't make sense that they're floating. If I was Jeff and someone said that to me, I'd go, all right, if the problem is that trap isn't hitting them, we're going to make trap 50% larger. And they'd be like, and I'd be like, well, that fixes the lore that you're upset about, right? Just so they stop saying stupid shit. You know what I mean? Okay. Guys, that's all I got. Are there any extra questions?